Hi guys, GB News is pretty weird, and while you'll probably find stranger videos from the channel online, this particular attempt to mix drama and comedy in an appeal against capitalism seemed really off. Mark Dolan, who I'm not sure is a full-time or part-time comedian at the outlet, delivered this appeal to a supermarket chain, Iceland, to hold back from closing its stores. An appeal more suited to the council to not close a public playing area for children than a private limited company. Truly bizarre. Have a listen.
Bad news, folks. The hugely popular and brilliant value Iceland supermarkets are threatening more store closures this year, having axed several flagship branches over the last 6 months. Now, this is a disaster for millions of Brits who love Iceland and depend on it for its high-quality, well-priced produce. A recent report suggests that the cost of living crisis means that more people are reliant on frozen food to keep the family fed. And where better to go than Iceland? Frozen fish, frozen meat, frozen vegetables, a much cheaper way of doing it. Yes, they have some naughty treats of which I cannot approve, but much of what they sell is healthy family favourites: cheese, milk, butter, eggs. Many shops like Iceland are a lifeline, which is why Iceland management must give these outlets a lifeline too. I know times are tough, but I can only implore Iceland bosses not to put these branches in the deep freeze. I hope this crazy idea to cut branches thaws out and they cool on the idea. Just as this programme has campaigned for Tesco to reverse their crazy decision to reduce the value of club card points, Iceland can steal a march on the competition and keep their stores open for the people of this country. If this frozen food specialist closes these outlets, it'll go from a rating of 5 stars to a shivery -10. It's time for Iceland to put these store closures on ice.
Okay, this was really weird. But okay, well, what is he... Doesn't it sound, as I said at the beginning, sound like an appeal to the council to keep open, I don't know, public playing area for children or something like that? Not an appeal to a private company to ignore capitalism. Like these are... What is the goal of a private company or a corporation for that matter? To maximize profit and to minimize costs. Now, why is Iceland closing these stores? It's in order to minimize cost. It's very expensive to keep these stores open. And as energy prices have gone up, can you imagine the costs these stores have to absorb and pass on to the consumer? You have these fridges running 24/7 in stores in the high street or in stores in towns. It's extremely expensive. Then you also need staff. So as more and more people are buying online, and even buying online through Iceland, it doesn't make economic sense to keep these stores open. Now, appeals from right-wing media outlets isn't going to change it. Asking them to please think of the British people is not going to change it. You know, once again, this is capitalism. Does Mark Dolan not understand that? Do the people at GB News not understand capitalism? It's about minimizing costs and maximizing profits. If it's cheaper to close the stores and sell it from a warehouse, that's what they're going to do. They can't justify these costs. And we're seeing it, and it's happening not just with Iceland, it's happening with many stores around the country and around the world. It's cheaper to sell stuff online from a warehouse with fewer staff, fewer overheads. The rent, for example, you know, the rent is much cheaper if the warehouse is out in the middle of nowhere than if it's in the city centre. Companies are looking at these costs and saying, okay, it's cheaper to sell online. We can reduce our costs. We can reduce our overheads when it comes to labor, for example. We can automate a lot of this. And this is the model going forward. But once again, it's really bizarre listening to a right-wing media outlet appealing to a private company to act more, I don't know what, socialist. Let me know in the comments section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.